finally made it to Morocco.
So if you guys have followed Alicia and I for a while, you know that Morocco has been very high on our list, and we have finally made it after all these years. It's not the trip we initially envisioned of kind of going around the whole country for 2 weeks, but we're going to be spending the next 4 days here in the coastal town of Essaouira, Morocco. Sitting on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, Essaouira is famous for its strong winds blowing in from the coast, making it a paradise for surfers and kite surfers. Even if that's not your thing, you can simply relax on the beach and watch the world go by, or take in the unique culture and delicious food. Essaouira has a much more laid-back vibe than a place like Marrakesh or Fez, so you'll find the people to be extra friendly and the shop sellers a little less pushy.
So we flew in last night, so this is our first real chance to kind of explore the city. And we're starting by doing it properly by going through the Medina. So there's lots of cool buildings and shops to see, but what Sean and I are looking at a lot more than we probably should is the cats. So as we've been going through, we're playing a game of who can spot the most cats. I'm in the lead, naturally, because I have an instinct for any sort of animals. But yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you posted on who wins today. Another cat. After spending the morning wandering the Medina, we decided to hit the beach for an afternoon of rest and relaxation. We even found these loungers that you can rent along the beach, which are just 50 dirham, and then you get your own little slice of paradise for the afternoon.
Feeling refreshed, if a little sunburnt, we headed back to our accommodation for the evening, although not before stopping to play with some rambunctious kittens, of course. We were staying at Riad Bab Essaouira, a traditional Moroccan riad, which essentially are large traditional homes that have been converted into hotels. In addition to our main bedroom, we had this massive and very comfy seating area, and we also had a delicious homemade breakfast prepared each morning by our host Simo. Overall, this was definitely one of our favorite places we've stayed during our travels. We had an amazing afternoon just relaxing at the beach. I actually can't remember the last time I felt that relaxed in my life, so perfect day. And we had a great dinner at Restaurant Berber, basically just a little hole in the wall, but it was so good. We'll link it down in the description for you guys because it might be a little bit hard to find. Came back, we had a shower, washed off all the sand, and now we are just up on the terrace of the Riad enjoying this beautiful sunset, and we'll check in with you guys tomorrow.
Good morning and welcome to day 2. We're nursing our sunburns from yesterday a little bit, but we did want to come out and explore as much as we could today. So we came up to the old walls, which is beautiful, and there's like some amazing waves going on, but this was also a filming location for Game of Thrones, which is pretty cool. And on top of that, we found this little guy who is the sweetest little love bug, and I think the theme of this trip is pretty much just hanging out with cats, which in some ways is making us miss our cat at home a tiny bit less. The walls were built in the 18th century to protect the city from pirate raids and are now a great place to catch some beautiful ocean views. We headed from the walls down to the harbor. Fishing has been the lifeblood of Essaouira's economy for centuries, and all these years later, not much has changed. Normally, the port is a hive of activity with fishermen returning from their daily catch, but because we came during Eid, everyone was off enjoying their holidays, so we didn't end up staying long. So we've had quite the afternoon, or more so, I've had quite the afternoon. There's a little bit of an incident with a tagine pot and a second-degree burn, but everything's cool. But I don't think we've mentioned so far that we came to Morocco right in time for the end of Ramadan and the beginning of Eid. So it's kind of a celebratory weekend, so there's not a lot open. So I got a pretty bad burn on my hand, and there was no pharmacies anywhere that happened to be open. We got back to our tiny little riad, And the poor owner, oh my gosh, he was so good about it, but he came back after 45 minutes after finding out about the burn with a jar of basically polysporin and said that he spent this whole time and 3 taxis to find this for me, and I felt terrible.
So despite the burns, we are going to play through the pain and do something that is both exciting, maybe a little terrifying, but that is a camel ride along the beach here in Essaouira. So we did try to make sure that we sourced this ethically. We went through Airbnb. They have a program with animal welfare protection, making sure that all of their animal activities are up to certain ethical standards. So let's go see how we do on these camels.
After gearing up, we set off for our ride along the beach with Alicia at the head of the pack. It was definitely a bit nerve-wracking at first with how high up you are, but after a few minutes, you start to get the hang of it. After about an hour of riding, we stopped for some tea and refreshments, including homemade bread and argan oil from our host Mustafa's mother.
It was a really cool experience, and during our break, we got to learn a lot about Mustafa and how he started this whole project and got his business off the ground. It was really interesting because he spent his entire life around these creatures, and his love and passion really shone through. We fueled up, and then we're back on the beach in time for one of the most amazing sunsets we've ever seen. This is definitely one of the highlights of our trip, and a must do if you come to Essaouira.
Good morning and welcome to day 3 of our trip here in Morocco. This is actually our last day, and we had the best time last night on the what we thought would be camels, but were actually dromedaries. So fun fact, if you didn't know, we just found this out last night. There aren't camels in Africa, and camels have 2 humps, but dromedaries have 1. So now we know what the difference is, and it was so much fun. Our bums are a little bit sore. It was kind of a rocky ride, but good thing is today is very calm. Our main goals for today are we're going to get a hammam, which is at the spa. It's a treatment. We'll tell you more when we're done. And then after that, just do some souvenir shopping and then just enjoy our last day here.
Souvenir shopping in Morocco is an experience all in and of itself. Be prepared to haggle and be even more prepared to lose. We got this beautiful tagine pot we definitely overpaid for, but the seller was really friendly and it was a nice memento from a trip. So if you look at it that way, I guess everyone wins. Live from Gigi's editing studio, we're here to redo one of our clips.
After her mom, we went to this really cool rooftop bar, and that's initially where we filmed this clip, but the wind just wasn't cooperating that day.
So we really wanted to tell you this story about what happened at the hammam because it was kind of an experience. Unfortunately, that means we're doing it back at England. So if you don't know what a hammam is, it's kind of like going to a bathhouse for a traditional Moroccan bath. They do it in other places as well, and it was definitely an experience that we needed to do when we were in Morocco. The problem with the experience is that we had no idea what to expect. No one kind of warned us what was gonna happen or kind of the procedure. So when we showed up, we thought we'd go into separate rooms, but they put us into one room with one basket and said, that's for your clothes. The first problem was Sean and I stripped down, but we didn't know how far to strip down, so we're just kind of standing there in our knickers. The lady comes in, starts laughing, and then takes my bra off me, and I was like, okay, I think I'm doing this wrong. The second part that was a bit jarring was I had never had a massage before, so I thought it was gonna be this really lovely, relaxing thing. And then as soon as they started hitting Sean like a bongo drum, all relaxation out the door. After they finished that, they threw some robes at us and then said, all right, let's go to the hammam. And I was just not feeling relaxed at this point.
We went into the hammam room itself, which is basically just a giant steam room, and they start off by just pouring really hot water on you, which is kind of a shock to the system. You're all relaxed after the massage, and then just like, and then after that, they kind of give you this like scrub down with sea salt and stuff, which, you know, sounds really nice, exfoliating scrub. But when you have sunburns and they're using the pressure of like trying to get a red wine stain out of a white carpet, it doesn't feel the best. I will say though, felt very clean afterwards. It's definitely an experience you have to try in Morocco, but just kind of have your expectations ready of, you know, it might not seem the most relaxing, but you'll come out clean.
Well, we've come down to the beach to wrap up our final day here in Essaouira. It is definitely living up to its name as the Windy City of Africa. Alicia looks absolutely ridiculous right now trying to film this clip to hopefully cut down on some of that wind noise, but we had to come down to the beach, enjoy this beautiful sunset here to finish off our trip. Thank you guys so much for coming along with us. It's been a trip that we've been dying to do for a long time, and it has lived up to the expectations. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you on the next trip.